Double kill! An ally has slain Lord! You have slain an enemy! Killing spree! Mega kill!
Hey guys, so as you probably already know, Uranus is probably the hardest hero to kill in the current meta, but only if you know how to build him properly and understand his limitations. Even though in the latest patch, they nerfed him a little bit, he is still insanely good in the current moment. These are the builds. The first 3 items are really important, it should be in this order to have complete control of the game. This is the emblem setup. Avarice is a great talent so he can farm his items faster. I like using the spell Execute, because usually he can deal a good amount of damage, but has a hard time dealing the final blow.
Welcome to Mobile Legends!
You can play him in either the top or bottom lane.
Smash them! All troops deployed!
If you know the enemies are doing 1-3-1 and there's not a very scary early game fighter from the opposite team, such as Khalid, then don't be scared of cutting the lane. This way you can farm faster.
Request backup!
After the boost, I would recommend buying a magic necklace next, so he doesn't run out of mana that fast. In the early game, don't be afraid to trade blows with the enemy. You probably have much better health regeneration than the enemy.
First blood!
His second skill has a delay before he explodes, so time it properly to deal maximum damage.
Well played! Well played! An enemy has been slain! Request backup!
It's better to max his second skill first, because that's how he can sustain so much.
Ally has been slain!
When you are playing against Uranus, it's not a wise idea to gank his lane. It's better to gank the opposite lane, because he's incredibly hard to kill.
An enemy has been slain! An ally has been slain!
I feed on lightning and ether.
An ally has been slain! An enemy has been slain! Turtle resurrecting soon!
I feed on lightning and ether.
Here I'm pinging to let my teammates know Yin Songxin is taking the buff. In the early game, he's not that strong, so if we have an assassin and Valir, we should definitely take advantage of our team composition.
Ally has been slain!
You can see I'm intentionally letting Ruby hit me, so I can keep Uranus passive.
Launch attack! Your team destroyed a turret! Launch!
It's important to master this habit, because what makes Uranus so durable is the combination of his passive and his second skill.
Has been slain! Double kill! Launch attack!
You want to make sure to keep his passive up, so he can turret dive and do all kind of crazy things.
Maniac! Your team destroyed a turret!
A lot of Uranus players make this kind of mistake. We tend to think that in the early game he's as unkillable as in the middle to late game, so we get very cocky and end up dying in the early game. It's important to understand that he's not as tanky until he gets his second core item.
I feel like it.
Shut down.
This when Uranus become the assassin.
You have slain an enemy. Double kill. Triple kill. An ally has slain the turtle. An enemy has been slain. Ally has been slain. Killing spree.
Lancelot was quite smart here. He was waiting for the right timing to kill their damage dealer first.
Launch attack. Killing spree. Mega kill.
Even though Basha supposedly carried Uranus because of the anti-regeneration passive, but even then, I don't think it's enough to stop Uranus.
Request backup.
All of your efforts are
Your team destroyed a turret.
Make sure to keep putting pressure in the side lanes, though the enemies have to put a lot of focus in defending, or if they don't, they will lose a lot of turrets.
are nonchalant.
Mega kill. Shut down.
Nothing can destroy celestial power.
Be smart when you're facing Ruby. If she's too close to her turrets, don't get too close, or else she'll pull you toward her turrets.
An enemy has been slain. Well played. Request backup. Launch attack.
Right now Aurora is way out of position. I just need to buy time for my teammates to show up.
An enemy has been slain. Double kill.
All of your efforts are in vain.
By the way, some players think that because your team already has Uranus, he's the main tank, but his real role is a split pusher. He shouldn't be the main tank, because a tank should have a good initiation skills, and Uranus doesn't have initiation or a crowd control skills.
I feel lightning and ether.
Killing spree.
This when we start getting cocky and the enemies make a comeback.
Mega kill. Enemy unstoppable. Launch attack. Shut down. Defend the turret.
The master once promised.
Launch attack! Attack the Lord! Launch attack! Ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain. An enemy has been slain. Unstoppable! Shut down!
All of your efforts are
If his stacks are about to run out, you can take turret shots so they don't reset.
Your team destroyed a turret!
all of your efforts are vain.
Your team destroyed a turret!
It's a good thing that I keep baiting Aurora's ult. Now my team will have an easier time fighting against them. Okay, actually Aurora is just seeking revenge. She probably noticed that I'm only targeting her first, so she's doing the same.
Request backup! Killing spree! Initiate retreat! Initiate retreat!
Guinevere is trying to force the Lord, when we clearly don't have our main damage dealer Lancelot, and he's the only one with retribution.
Retreat!
We are all telling her to retreat, but she's not listening.
Initiate retreat! The enemy has slain Lord. Ally has been
Don't do this kind of silly mistake, guys. This is the kind of play that will end up throwing the game.
enemy has been slain! You have slain an enemy!
Since we don't have a great initiator tank, it's hard to take their inhibitors, so in this case, it's better to wait for the next Lord and push with it.
Initiate retreat!
Nothing can destroy for me. I feel lightning and evil. You and my master are much improved.
Be patient in late game. One single mistake can cost you the game.
All of your efforts are vain.
An ally has been slain.
You and my master are much alike.
Attack the Lord!
Here I'm just trying to distract the enemies so our team can take the Lord.
You and my master are much alike.
Launch attack!
Yushon was smart to follow up and let our Lancelot and Guinevere do the Lord instead.
Ally has slain Lord! Slain an enemy! Ally has been slain. Launch attack!
I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. Thanks.